According to Tori Roloff of Little People, Big World, her father disapproved of her relationship with Zach. Zach Roloff and Tori Roloff discuss how their romance started in high school. Having married in 2015, they have 3 children. Like many others, Tori admits throughout the interview that her family and friends were curious when she told them she was seeing Zach, particularly her father, who wasn't initially thrilled about the prospect. "I can remember getting ready to go on a date with you and saying who you were and showing him a picture of you, and him being like, 'No, what are you talking about?'" she tells Zach. "This isn't the man I had in mind for you." "Are you sure?" he simply questioned several times. "I don't know about this," he said. She continues, "After that, he met you, and although I always make jokes about it, I'm quite certain my dad now prefers you to me. You are more popular with my entire family." In 2011, Tori, 33, and Zach, 34, started dating while still in high school. 2015 saw the couple be married on the Roloff family property. They have 3 children together: Josiah, 2, Lilia, 4, and Jackson, 7. According to Tori, her father's opinion on Zach and the disparity in height changed when he met him. "However, once he met you, he undoubtedly forgot about the height difference," Tori explains. "He was like, 'Oh, I think I get it.'" After getting to know Zach, her family and friends were able to set aside their doubts and worries about their romance. "I believe my friends and family had some reservations when we first started dating, but after they got to know you, they all said, 'Gosh, I see why this girl is into him. I understand this situation and this connection.' Height wasn't important," she says. According to Zach, even though it may be difficult, as someone with a disability, you want people to ignore the obvious physical element. That was not a problem for Tori. "You look for all these things that are wrong when the person's not right for you," explains Tori. "There was nothing wrong with you once I met you, despite the fact that you are taller than I had anticipated. Nothing was there for me to dissect." Zach and Tori concur that they haven't had many public setbacks in their relationship, but they attribute that to their notoriety on Little People, Big World. The two also mention that it has benefited them to tune others out. "Opinions from others shouldn't matter," Tori asserts. "They could have prevented me from being happy, and they could have prevented you from being happy, too. We didn't let the opinions of others to affect our relationship or us." During their time on Little People, Big World, Tori and Zach's romance blossomed. Since 2006, Zach's family has been featured on the show, including his parents, Amy and Matt Roloff, and 3 siblings. Zach and Tori Roloff emotionally recall the miscarriage they experienced prior to becoming parents earlier this year. The Josiah before the birth of their 3rd child, Tori and Zach Roloff discussed the pregnancy loss they had. Before welcoming their 3rd child, Tori and Zach Roloff experienced a miscarriage, which they are now discussing. The former Little People, Big World actors talked candidly about the death of their kid in 2021 on Thursday's Raising Heights podcast. Very quickly after deciding to try for their 3rd child, Tori and Zach were pregnant, she explains. Jackson, age 7, and Lilia, age 4, were already the couple's children. Tori claims she had an uncomplicated first trimester, so when the couple went in for their 8-week visit, the devastating news was revealed. "It was not on my radar that something was wrong," she continues. "I recall thinking, this is going really well, this pregnancy is really easy." According to Tori, the ultrasound tech suspected something was off at the exam and told her that the baby had no heartbeat even though she wasn't meant to. "I immediately started crying," Tori claims. "This is not taking place. It's not real. I can't possibly be experiencing this." Tori said that her outlook on the location where she always experienced joy shifted following the completion of 2 healthy pregnancies. "I think that it was a huge mind shift for me because going to those appointments, it was always such a fun experience," she elaborates. "There was always so much happiness. Seeing my baby made me very happy. I got to take all these adorable photos. I can hear the pulse of the heart. I get to engage in all of these enjoyable activities. And everything changed regarding what that clinic is and what it can be on that day." Tori claims that the doctors informed her that she could either have an aided treatment called a D&C, dilatation and curettage, which is a procedure to remove tissue from inside your uterus, or she may choose to let the pregnancy end naturally. "I can remember just being so mad at my body after that," she said, becoming emotional. Healthcare professionals perform dilation and curettage to diagnose and treat certain uterine conditions like heavy bleeding, or to clear the uterine lining after a miscarriage or abortion. I experienced what is known as a missed miscarriage, in which my body failed to detect the baby's death. Since it had been 3 weeks, and the growth had halted at that point, I was left to decide how to proceed. Why do I have to make the decision of how to move forward? I was furious with my body, she continues. I didn't want to be making this decision at this time, which is why I was so angry with my body. Tori followed the DNC plan. The fact that Katie and Zach had told their relatives, children, and the little people, big world crew about her pregnancy and had to break the devastating news to them was another factor contributing to the miscarriage. Zach explains, "You get a little excited, 3 kids, and you announce it a little earlier. You skip ahead a little bit as your excitement level rises. I recall telling the family and the TV people that. The pair had to go back on camera and endure the grief after initially revealing their 3rd pregnancy on the show at the time. It's difficult to share sensitive content on camera in reality TV since it needs to fit with the plot or the planned episode," Zach explains. "We believe a 20-minute explanation is essential to comprehend your perspective, but they are unable to do it at that time. It's difficult because of that. They won't do it the justice that it needed," Tori says. "This is our child. I consider pregnancy to be the birth of a child. Therefore, it felt like we had lost a piece of our family when we lost that baby." The week that Tori was preparing to post on social media, she also received the news of the miscarriage. Instead, Tori received a ton of support after telling her followers that she and Zach had lost their baby. "You don't feel alone because so many individuals have come out of the woods, including former co-workers and people from my personal life," she says. "I was so grateful that I shared that information just because then I felt comfort from the women who had gone through the same thing that I went through." Tori and Zach announced they were expecting a boy in November 2021. Regarding delaying the announcement, Tori states, "We didn't tell people that I was pregnant with Josiah until I was halfway done in May 2022. Because I didn't want to go through that again, and we have to backtrack." Tori, however, adds that she couldn't image their lives without Josiah in addition to sharing to ensure that ladies didn't feel alone. "Without Josiah, it's difficult to imagine our lives now," she says. "It's so hard for me to imagine our lives without him, no matter how much I adore and obsess over him. Without all that transpired, he wouldn't be here. We'll get to meet our child one day." Amy Roloff's most creative recipes. With videos Small People, Big World. Amy Roloff, star of Little People, Big World, may be able to make the leap from reality star to renowned chef thanks to her inventive dishes and culinary videos. Traditional dishes are given a contemporary touch by the matriarch of the Roloff family's straightforward yet outstanding recipes. With the release of her most recent cookbook, Eat, Love, Gather, Amy, who has always had a love for baking and cooking, is establishing herself in the culinary industry. For 25 seasons, Amy and her family have been on Little People, Big World. She and her ex-husband, Matt Roloff, ran a pumpkin farm near Hillsboro, Oregon, and had 4 children. Following Amy and Matt's divorce, the family was chronicled in Little People, Big World. Their children grew up and began their own families, and Amy left the property. As the future of the program becomes more questionable, Amy, who is now married to Chris Merrick, has turned more to her cooking. Amy is well on her way to making cooking her new passion thanks to her extensive collection of recipes. Amy made a batch of hamburgers with a smart innovation, and Chris joined her. Amy, star of Little People, Big World, topped her burgers with a layer of Black Forest ham and a mayonnaise and chopped dill pickle sauce. She served sriracha ketchup and potato wedges seasoned with paprika to end the meal. Amy cooked her hamburgers on the stovetop indoors, creating a summer meal in the middle of winter. She clarified that the emphasis was on the ham and sauce because she seasoned the meat. Amy's recipes are easy enough for even inexperienced cooks to follow, yet her surprise gourmet touches give them a sophisticated touch. Chris joined Amy for supper while she was finishing up the dish and referred to her approach as a great way to build a burger. Amy's Bloody Mary salad recipe completely changed the way people think about salad. "Who says salads have to be boring?" she captioned it. Tomato, celery, red onions, and parsley are the ingredients of Amy's salad, which is topped with a hot horseradish and Tabasco dressing. Creative cooking is the hashtag she added. Since they first started dating, Amy and Chris have frequently been spotted on Little People, Big World sipping cocktails together or by themselves. The couple's capacity to indulge and take the time to appreciate the small things is reflected in Amy's Bloody Mary salad. Her choice to add a cocktail-inspired twist to the salad demonstrates Amy's easygoing yet playful personality, which contributes to her popularity on television. Amy prepared some chocolate brownies from scratch as a nice treat. To replicate the flavor of a peanut butter cup, she next made peanut butter cookie dough to spread on top. Amy said, "I'm in heaven," following her initial taste. Amy's inventiveness is demonstrated by her brownie cookie hybrid. Given the traditional combination of peanut butter and chocolate, the extra work she put into making two distinct dessert ingredients undoubtedly paid off. Amy combines two straightforward concepts to create a dessert that is both distinctive and comforting. While filming a movie in her son Jeremy Roloff's kitchen, Amy shared the limelight with a few of her grandchildren, Radley, Bode, and Ember Roloff. Amy added chopped hot dogs and grated cheese to a homemade corn muffin mix to give corn dogs a unique twist, all while keeping her grandchildren in mind. She pointed out how challenging it was to cook in a strange kitchen, but Amy swiftly adjusted her recipe to fit the tools she had. Amy's life revolves around her grandchildren. Given that Amy's passion for cooking developed out of her desire to soothe and feed her kids, this meal is a perfect illustration of her emphasis on family. Even though she acknowledged that the lighting was not perfect and that her grandchildren's music could be heard in the background, Amy stayed composed and concentrated as she followed her recipe. Amy's ability to be adaptable and prepare food that the kids would like demonstrates her innate warmth as a mother and grandma. Amy's seafood lasagna is her most opulent meal. Amy views this recipe as a substitute for heavy meat and tomato lasagna, but she doesn't cut any corners in creating her version. Amy used noodles and a cream sauce with Parmesan, ricotta, and mozzarella cheese to layer shrimp, salmon, and crab meat. Amy saw that Chris had just gotten home and was tiptoeing around the kitchen so as not to bother her while she was cooking. This look inside their relationship demonstrates how much the couple respects one another and makes room for their passions. Chris has supported Amy without being intrusive, making him a positive addition to her life. Off camera, Chris could be heard remarking that the lasagna was looking good. Amy's refined yet approachable recipes perfectly capture her essence. Amy is a calm mother who has maintained her dignity despite her divorce and the family strife involving the Roloffs. She also pays attention to the little things that are most important and has a talent for entertaining. Amy will have no issue maintaining her public profile after her stint on Little People, Big World is over because to her cookbooks and cookery videos.